Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. So we will start our discussion, and I will just briefly recap the simple method that we have discussed, and then continue the discussion from there on. That is, as I have said, that is one of the most important methods. Network quality is poor. Taking from home, so the network quality. By the way, I have uploaded all the videos in my YouTube channel and sent you the links just now, so you can go through them. And the remaining lectures, so I have uploaded till yesterday's class for both gas turbines and CMTFE. So the remaining lectures I will upload as and when the lectures are done. Okay, so you can go through them and take particular notice about any small discussion that is going on, maybe something like why something is happening, things like that. Okay, so we'll just go through the simple algorithm again, just to remind, because this is slightly complicated, just to remind ourselves what is the algorithm. And because we have to build upon this today to learn about the simpler algorithm. And in the next class, we will learn about two more algorithms briefly, the simplex algorithm and the piezo algorithm. Okay, so these four algorithms we are going to learn for solution of flow. Next class is the last class. And briefly, I will introduce you to structured and unstructured grids and different types of grid structures, things like that. But we will not go into problem details. So, the simple which was developed by Patankar, I hope you can see the screen. Can somebody confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's actually an acronym for semi-implicit method for pressure linked equations. And what we have done here, if you remember previous class, we have the grid structure for the flow separately from the main grid structure. Okay, so the main grid structure is shown by the blue lines here. Okay, for example, this blue line demarcates the control volume P. Similarly, the surrounding control volume E is demarcated by this blue line. Okay, like this, any of these blue lines show the main control volumes, and the main control volumes are used for solving any other variable like temperature, concentration, even continuity, as we have seen. And all the main variables, scalar variables like temperature, concentration, density, pressure, if you can remember any other parameters, all these parameters like conductivity, everything is stored. Conductivity means diffusivity, viscosity, everything is stored at the center of the main control volumes. Okay, so this is the mesh that we generate for solving the equation, as we have, as I will keep it open here also for reference. Okay. This was the mesh that this red colored lines or pink colored lines are the main control volumes, and centered around, like in each of them at the center there is the main grid point. We have already discussed how to solve any convective diffusive equation for the main grid points. Okay. However, for the velocities, what we have done, we have offset the grids. Okay, we have moved the grids. So the control volumes for the velocities are now different. For example, the control volumes for the u velocity, all the u velocities are shifted by half control volume towards the left hand side. So the east point, say velocity, is now set at the grid point, which is at the center of the face of the main control volume. The grid point itself is at the center of the face of the main control volume, and the actual control volume for the velocity goes from the center of one control volume, main control volume, to the center of another main control volume. Okay, like this from P to E. So this is this black colored box is the control volume for the velocity U. Similarly, there can be another black colored box here for the velocity u. Okay, adjacent neighboring cell. Similarly, another one. So the main feature is that all these control volumes goes from the one main grid point to another main grid point, and their centers are located on the faces of the main grid point. So the u velocities are stored at the faces of the main grid points. Similar to this, the v velocities will also be shifted, but not in the x direction, in the y direction. And this is shown here. It's not very clear, but it is shown here. By this light blue or cyan colored line, as you can see here. This is the shifted control volume for the velocity v. Similarly, we can have another control volume here. So the v velocity control volumes are shifted along the y direction only, not in any other direction. And similarly, the w components will be shifted only along the z directions, which we cannot show in this plane. Okay. So this we had called as staggered grids, because the grids are staggered from the main grids. Okay. So using this, we noted that some of the problems we faced, like discretization of pressure and continuity equation, becomes or gets resolved. Okay. So using this, now we went through certain number of steps while solving the flow equations. What were the steps? So I will keep the steps open here so that you can relate to them. And we will again relook at the steps, because towards the end of the class we are done. So we have to start with a gas pressure field. Okay, we have to start with a gas pressure field. So field means, whenever I say field, it means for all the grid points. Okay, so for all the grid points, you need to specify a initial pressure, and that can be based on any gas, or say based on boundary condition. You know the pressure at the boundary condition, you just give the same pressure, or you can put zero gauge pressure at all the points. Okay, or some pressure like atmosphere. The gas pressure will not influence the final solution, the time it takes to go towards the final solution. Means it will not, if the solution gets converged, it will converge to the correct solution. We will have a discussion on this after today's class. There is an effect of the gas pressure field also. But say in normal cases, it will, if the pressure at one of the boundaries is known, then the solution will converge to the correct pressure, and only effect the gas pressure will have is that how much time how many iterations it takes to go to the correct solution. Okay. Only in the case when there are no boundary information given about pressure, all the boundary conditions are in terms of velocity. In those cases, the gas pressure field will cause a problem. Problem means the gas pressure field will influence the final pressure. This we will discuss later. Okay. At this point, just remember that we need to guess a pressure for all the grid points, and based on that we need to solve the equation. The guess will not influence the solution, it will just influence the time it takes to go to the solution. So then we discretize the momentum equations similar to our convective diffusive equation. Okay, I will keep that also open so that you can relate. So similar to our normal convective diffusive equation with unsteady and source term, we can discretize the momentum equation. So what were the momentum equations? Just if you want to take a look again, the momentum equations were each component was like this. Okay, it is exactly same as this one. This is written in vector form, so you can consider this. But only thing is that instead of the phi, we have the velocity components. For example, for the x momentum equation, we have the phi itself is a u velocity, and it's a scalar because this is the magnitude u. Okay, similar to the scalar phi. So magnitude u here. Okay. And then the diffusion terms are the viscous terms, same terms again. So in 3D, this will have three terms. So these three terms are present for x, y, and z. And all the source terms are also present, can be put like this. Okay. The only additional term was the minus del P del X, or the pressure gradient term. Similarly, there will be del P del Y term for the Y direction and del P del Z for the Z direction. As a result, what we saw that, again we will come back to our simpler algorithm. Simple algorithm. Okay. We can write the discretized equation in form AP phi P equal to summation A and B phi and B plus B. So here phi is U. So A U E. Instead of P, now U is at the east point. So A U E is equal to summation A and B U and B. This is one neighbor. This is one neighbor. There will be one neighbor here and one neighbor here. Okay. So E you can say. Plus B. So all the source terms which will come inside will come as B. Plus one additional term comes into picture because of the pressure gradient, which can be written as some area, cross-sectional area through which the flow passes, because the pressure acts over that area, into the pressure difference across the control volume from one side to the other side. So this equation is for the x direction. So this pressure difference is for the x direction. Similarly, if we solve for the y direction, pressure difference will be for the y direction, and so forth for the z direction. AE PP minus PE. This is how we have seen how to integrate the pressure term. Minus dou P dou X dx dy dz over the control volume gives us AE PP minus PE, where AE is equal to the area, cross-sectional area. Depending on whether if it's a three-dimensional problem, this is, you can easily see if you integrate it, you will get PP minus P into delta Y delta Z. Okay, in 3D. So once we get this equation, momentum equation, now we need to solve this momentum equation, but we don't know the pressure. Okay. So how did we solve it? By using the guess pressure. So using the guess pressure, we solve the momentum equation and obtain certain velocities. So these velocities which we had obtained using the guess pressure, we U star, V star and W star. Okay. So I am just repeating to consolidate this material so that we can get a summarized view of the simple algorithm. So these velocities we called as U star, V star and W star. Obviously these are not correct because these are based on the guess pressure field. By luck or by chance, if you can guess the pressure field totally correctly, then these velocity components will be correct, and then there is no issue. The main problem was there because the pressure field is unknown. For some reason the pressure field is given to us, say due to some other calculation or by measurement or some analytic, guess pressure field correctly, exactly, then directly by solving this equation you will get the correct U star, V star and W star. This will be the correct value of U, V and W. You don't need any other algorithm. So this entire algorithm is needed in case the pressures are not known. Okay. So now we get the U star, V star and W star after this solving the momentum equation. So next step, what is the next step? We need to solve the pressure correction equation. Okay. And how we have derived this pressure correction equation? So when implementing, we just have to solve the pressure correction equation, but while deriving it, we have taken the difference between the actual momentum equation with the unknown values. Okay, the actual momentum equation with the unknown values, discretized momentum equation, and the momentum equation with the guess values and all known values, star values and guess values, like updated values, and subtracted this second equation from the first equation. So we got terms which are differences between the unknown but actual value, correct value, which is unknown to us, minus the incorrect but known value, star value. Okay. So for example, for the east velocity, we get AE UE minus UE star is equal to summation of A and B, U and B minus U and B star for all the neighboring points, and then the pressure for pressure point PP minus PP star, and for E, PE minus PE star. Okay. All the star values are at this point they are known. They are not correct, but they are known, and all the non-star values are unknown. We don't know them. So these differences we have written in terms of something called correction terms. Okay. So why these are called correction terms? Because if we know the correction terms, we can just add the correction terms to the start terms which are already known to us to get the actual terms. Okay. So now the task becomes equal to finding the correction terms. Once you know the correction terms, you can add them to the start terms which are known to us to get the actual terms. Like if I know what is P dash, I can add them to P star to get the actual P. Okay. And then we have dropped this term, and we have noted that dropping this term does not affect the final solution anyway, because what will happen at the final solution? The differences will go to 0, because the star will itself become equal to the correct value. When you final converse solution, this final solution star will theoretically become equal to the actual value. So the difference will become 0. So once this correct solution is reached, anyway the differences are 0, all these dash terms are 0. So it does not matter if we drop any terms. Okay. So this intermediate step is only required for reaching the correct solution, but does not affect the correct solution. Means the value of the correct solution remains same, but how you reach that solution will depend on how we modify this equation. So by dropping this, reaching the correct solution, it may take more number, but by doing it, the coupling of the neighboring velocities, which is difficult to solve. Okay, because all the velocities will get coupled. So we just remove that and only make the velocity at one point depend only on the pressure correction, nothing else. Okay, no effect of neighboring velocities. It only depends on the pressure correction. If I go back to the diagram, the velocity correction at this point depends only on the pressure correction difference. Okay, this difference, this minus this, which is understandable because the pressure drives this velocity. So the velocity correction is also in terms of this pressure correction difference, Pp dash minus Pe dash. So now we wrote this term after removing this neighboring cells that in terms of AE UE dash, same thing. AE UE dash is equal to Pp dash minus P dash AE, and denoting some this AE by small a as DE, which is a known factor. Okay. UE dash is equal to DE plus the difference in pressure correction. And if we add this velocity correction to the known velocity, start velocity, updated velocity. Okay. This updated velocity is not correct at this point because start velocity is not correct and dash velocity is also not the correct correction because we have dropped one term. Okay. But this will guide us towards the correct velocity after some iterations. So this actually leads to this term which we called as velocity correction formula. Okay. U is equal to U star plus D Pp dash minus P dash. So now cleverly what we have done, we have taken the continuity equation, discretized it. After discretizing the continuity equation, considering the main grid point, not the staggered grid point. So main grid point. So we have terms like UE, rho UE minus rho UW, rho Vn minus rho Vs, rho Wt minus rho Wv. Okay. The terms at the faces, flux at the faces, difference of flux at the faces. So these U terms we replaced by this corrected terms. Okay. These U terms we replaced by the corrected terms, correction terms. So instead of UE, we have written UE star plus D Pp dash minus P dash. Instead of UW, we have written UW star plus DW PW dash minus PP dash. Okay. By writing this, we have obtained an equation where we have accumulated all the Pp dash terms, pressure correction terms together, and put all the other terms which are the start terms. So this dash terms we have accumulated together and the start terms we have put together in the source term because these are all known. All the start terms are known to us at this point. Okay, along with the unsteady term. So the source term is known at this point. So the only unknowns are the pressure correction. So we have found an equation for pressure correction. And this we can solve like any other equations using line by line TDMA or any other thing. So basically this equation exactly looks like this equation where we can write AP 5P instead of 5P we have PP. Okay, PP dash is equal to summation of A and B, P and B dash. So all the neighboring points plus B. So we can use the algorithms till now we have developed. So again for solving this equation you can use upwind scheme, hybrid scheme, any of the schemes. Okay. In case it was not clear in the previous class, this needs to be solved as the previous equations. We can use hybrid scheme or power law scheme or any other scheme to solve this equation. Okay. To get the pressure corrections. So we need to solve this pressure correction. So first we need to calculate the B value based on the star values. We know already the star values. Once you get the B, you solve the pressure correction. Okay. Once you get the pressure correction, we just add the pressure correction to the star pressure to get the actual pressure. Okay, because that is how the star pressure is defined. P dash in terms of actual pressure minus star pressure. Okay, so it means that actual pressure is equal to star pressure plus dash pressure. Okay, so gauge pressure plus corrected pressure. So by doing this, we are updating the P. Okay, this will not give us the correct P at this moment because this dash pressure is not correct because it is based on values which we have, like, because we have dropped some terms, it depends on that. So this will go towards the correct solution, but in one step will not give you the correct solution. So we get the P. Okay. Then what is the step? Then we calculate all the velocities by using this type of formulas. Okay. Already you know the star values, and now we have already calculated the dash P dash values also, pressure correction values. So this, using this velocity correction formula and other formulas like this for the other velocity components, 6 velocity components will have 6 formulas. You get all the velocities u, v and w. So this actually comprises the flow solver. After this, you can solve for, using this velocity, you can solve for any other equation like the say equation for temperature or any other field. Okay, because you need the velocity there. Once you solve for those other things, you take this P as the next pressure and just keep on repeating this step 6 again and again until you see that there is not much change, and the converse solution is reached. So how will we check for conversion? We will check the previous iteration value minus the correct iteration value. Okay, and when the converse solution is reached, the star velocity values satisfy the velocity continuity equation. Okay, because these are the correct velocities at the converse solution. This will satisfy the continuity equation, which means that this term, which is just similar to this term with a negative sign, so this term will become equal to 0. So the B term, okay, the mass source term, you can call it the mass source term B, goes to 0 when we reach converse solution. So this B is a measure of the, although we do not use it to measure the convergence, but this is also a measure of convergence. So if B is reduced, it means that we are going towards convergence. Okay. Any questions up to this point? This we have discussed in the previous class. So we will move on to. Okay. I had time, so I discussed this again in detail, so that we can continue this today's discussion. So now some important points regarding the simple algorithm. The source term B, as just now I have mentioned, is a good indicator of the convergence. It goes to 0 at the convergence, because during convergence, this pressure correction, the star velocity satisfies the continuity equation. Okay, so then the discretized continuity equation is of this form, and this is satisfied by the star velocities, as you can see. If the star velocities are the correct velocities, this term will go to 0. So B goes to 0. Second important point, all these points we have discussed while discussing the equations in simple algorithm form here, or summarized form. The P dash equation that we have derived. Okay, this can be derived in many ways. Here we have derived by omitting this A and B, U and B term. But there are other ways of deriving this P dash equation also. But for simple algorithm, it is derived like this. So this is just an intermediate part of the algorithm. It does not have any direct effect on the final solution. Final solution does not depend on how you derive the P dash equation. So the converse solution will remain same. It will be the correct solution irrespective of what formulation you are using for the P dash equation. Okay, it does not depend on it. However, as we have discussed, how fast we are reaching the converse solution depends on the formulation of P dash. So if you are omitting this term, it may take more time to reach the correct solution. So the rate of convergence depends on the formulation of the P dash equation. Okay. So there are two things. One is the correct solution, converse solution, and the second is how fast you are approaching the correct solution. So the second part is getting affected, how fast you are approaching the correct solution, but the correct solution itself does not get affected by the P dash. Okay. Now to reach the correct solution, so we have noted that we update the P using terms like P is equal to P star plus P dash. Okay. So this is the correct update formula. But sometimes what happens if the pressure correction terms are exaggerated, P dash gives very large values, okay, intermediate values. The pressure P goes in the opposite direction. Instead of going to the correct direction, it crosses the correct direction and goes to the opposite direction. And then the pressure tends to divert. So to stop that, to avoid divergence, instead of using this term, we use under relaxation factor, alpha P, where the value of alpha P is less than 1. Okay, you have read about under relaxation factor. So alpha P is typically taken around 0.8, and this actually causes a less increase or decrease, means this means that we include a less effect of P dash in correcting the P term. Okay, so it goes less towards one direction. Okay, so if exaggerated pressure corrections are present, you take lesser amount of pressure correction. So again, this will not affect the solution, as we have discussed while discussing the under relaxation. Although the time required for going to the final solution will increase, because you are going slowly towards the final solution, it will increase, but this will reduce the chance of divergence, because this will reduce the chance of oscillation. Means if the P dash term is very large, so there is a tendency that P will go in the other direction. Say the correct pressure is 100 kPa, and in the previous iteration the start pressure was 80 kPa. Now the P dash term has come as 60 kPa. So if we just use this equation, so we will get 80 plus 60, so 140 kPa. Okay. So in the next iteration, the start pressure will be 140 kPa. So we were near the correct solution. We were at 80 kPa, and the correct solution was 100 kPa. So we were only 20 kPa away. But after this correction, we have gone to 140 kPa, which is much further away. So in the next iteration, we will even go further away. So this is called as divergence. We have studied how it happens in Gauss-Seidel algorithm also. So now if you use a alpha of say 0.5, okay, I am showing a very exaggerated value. So say we use a value of alpha equal to 0.5. In that case, if P dash is 60, instead of 60 you add 0.5 into 60, so 30. So 80 plus 30, so 110. So it will go only to 110. Okay. So the chances of divergence is less. You are limiting your steps to small values, but it will take more time to go towards the correct solution. Okay. Then the other important point to note is that the velocity field at each iteration satisfies the continuity equation. So the velocity field consists of the star values and they are derived in such a they satisfy the continuity equation at each iteration. Okay. Although they are not the correct velocity field, okay, although they are not the correct velocity field, because they have both the start terms as well as the P dash terms. The start terms itself plus the P dash. So how are the velocity fields defined? The velocities are defined as start terms plus this velocity correction, means adding the velocity correction term in terms of pressure correction. So because we have inputted this UE in the continuity equation in terms of these equations itself, so this UE UW directly satisfies the equation. Okay, because we have just replaced them by this star velocities and p dash terms. So this velocity term ue, although it is not correct, it satisfies the continuity equation at each iteration. The other point is that if density is not known, okay, for some reason, if density is not constant, it can be calculated using equation of state. Like for example, for ideal gas laws, we can use P by rho equal to RT. Okay, so we can calculate rho using P by RT, pressure by R divided by temperature. Okay, so any other equations of state, so it need not be that only that equation. Any other equations can be used to find in terms of known values, and we can solve this. However, if it is a highly compressible flow, means there is a very strong dependence of density on pressure, then this type of solution, this type of algorithm is not very good at capturing those type of very highly compressible flow. You cannot capture. Solutions will tend to diverge because in each iteration the pressure changes significantly and this pressure affects the density so much that the iterations tends to diverge because you have the density terms in the pressure correction equations. If the equations become so much dependent on the pressure, so they tend to diverge. So for highly compressible flow, there are more complicated algorithms. Okay, we will not go into those details beyond the scope of this course, but in case there are small means variations, we can capture using say not very highly compressible flow, but still say ideal gas laws. Okay, we can capture highly compressible means that say at a larger Mach number, like shocks and other things, we will not be able to capture. But normal density pressure relations can be captured using this. And the final thing we will note here is that the pressure equation, pressure correction equation shows a two-way behavior. Okay, so the pressure correction at any point, this diagram is too small. Pressure correction at any point depends on its neighboring cells on both the previous grid points as well as the subsequent grid points. Okay, so this is like a two-way behavior or elliptic behavior. Okay, like we have seen for the case of conduction equation. Okay, it's not hyperbolic or parabolic. It is not direction dependent. It depends on both sides, all these sides. Okay, so it's a two-way behavior. So it is elliptic in nature. Pressure correction is elliptic in nature. Any questions? So again, we have just discussed the same points which we have discussed during the derivation of the simple algorithm. Okay. So one or two more points we need to go to. Then we will go to the next algorithm, simpler algorithm. One is how to implement the boundary condition for the pressure correction equation. Okay, boundary condition for the velocity momentum equations are not difficult to implement. Okay, so for example, if we go back to the discretized momentum equation, this can be treated as any other boundary conditions that we have discussed in the for the convection diffusion equations. Okay, we have discussed in detail how to treat the boundary conditions previously. Not for convection diffusion, but for any other cases we have discussed, means normal finite volume method. So we can put the known velocities directly for velocity boundary condition arises for the pressure correction equation. Okay, how to put the boundary condition for the pressure correction. So because pressure correction, there is no separate boundary condition that is given for pressure correction. Okay, you only have either the velocity or the pressure at the interface at the boundary, but there is, because this is just an intermediate step, there is no boundary condition given for pressure correction. So now the actual boundary condition for the momentum equation can be given in two ways. Either you can specify the pressure P at the boundary or the velocity, like pressure at the boundary grid point, okay, near the boundary, so this grid point, or the velocity. So if pressure is specified at the boundary, we'll assume that this is this pressure nearby grid point. Velocity is given at the boundary. Okay, if this is the boundary, this velocity is given. So either way, either the pressure or the velocity is given at the boundary. Okay. So if velocity is given, what we have to do is that when we are derive this pressure correction equation, just a second. When we have derived this pressure correction equation, okay, we have taken terms like this. So instead of UE, we have written UE as UE star plus DE PP dash minus P dash. Similarly, UW, we had written as UW star plus DW PW dash minus PP dash. Okay. Similarly, VN, VS, all this in terms of stars and pressure corrections. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are not going to use this formulation for the known velocity. So for example, if U is known, okay, and we are solving for this boundary, okay, we are solving for this grid point velocity. So we need the four neighboring grid point values. So for example, if you are solving for this velocity, you will need the velocity here, here, here and here. Okay, let me show by this point. Okay, say this line is the boundary. This line is the boundary. Okay. Sorry, this is the velocity. So next line is the boundary. This line is the boundary. This last vertical line is the boundary. Okay. So the velocity at this point is known. Last vertical line is known. And when you are discretizing this, you are getting this in terms of no. I've wrongly stated. Okay. Please ignore this last minute discussion. Okay. When you are solving for this this grid point, okay, this line itself is the boundary, this line is the boundary. You are solving for the control volume, main control volume P. Pressure corrections are solved for the main control volume, right? Not the staggered control volume. I got confused there. So for the main control volume P you are solving, and this is the boundary, this line is the boundary. So you already know the UE component, it is given as boundary condition. So when solving for the continuity equation for the main control volume, instead of rewriting this UE in terms of UE star and PP dash minus PE dash, you just give the correct value of UE directly in terms of boundary condition. Okay. So if you replace the correct value of UE, so you will have all the other velocity terms in terms of stars and pressure corrections. But for this UE term, you will not have this term. Okay. You will not have any UE term, UE star term or PP dash minus PE dash term. So what will happen is that this P dash term will not come into picture because this only comes via the UE term. Okay, because we are directly specifying the UE, this P dash term will not come into picture. Okay, so as a result, this AE dash will not be present. So AE will be 0. Okay, and this is suitable because anyway this was outside the boundary and we could not have any PE dash outside this. So once it goes to 0, there is no problem. We are directly getting this value here, and we can use this to solve for all the other, means all the other will be internal grid points, so we can get the PP dash in terms of all known values or by solving all the internal grid point values. Okay, the only thing is that you are not using the equation, correction equation for the boundary. Instead you are directly specifying the velocity value so that the AE becomes equal and the pressure correction for that boundary does not come into the calculation. Okay, so this is written here. As U is directly given, P dash does not come into the equation and AE will become equal to 0. Okay. So there is no problem if velocity is given. If pressure is given, okay, then it is even simple. If pressure is given, we will directly take that pressure as the gauge pressure for that control volume. If this pressure is given for this boundary, nearby control volume, nearest boundary control volume is this control volume. Okay, main control volume. Main control volume near the boundary is this control volume. So directly we will take this pressure as P star. So because P star is directly given, automatically it means that P dash is 0 for that grid point. Okay, pressure correction is 0. So for that grid point, P dash is already known. Okay, we can solve for the other grid points, internal grid points, but for all the boundary grid points, the P dash is 0 because it is already the actual pressure is known. So P star is equal to the actual pressure. So all the P dash here is 0. And using this P dash, you can solve the internal grid points. Okay. So this is how we have to give the boundary conditions. for the pressure correction equation. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. If others also have questions, they can ask. If something is not clear, we are going quite slowly so that you can understand. So the last thing that we want to discuss about simple algorithm is what I had just briefly mentioned today itself at the beginning of the class, is that the pressure is relative in nature. Okay, at that moment we did not register it full. Pressure is relative means, or what do you mean by this relative nature of pressure? So say all the boundary conditions are given in terms of velocity. All the boundary conditions are given. You have a domain and all the boundary conditions are given in terms of velocity. Okay. Now there is no reference pressure because all the boundary conditions are in terms of velocity. You don't have any reference pressure. Okay. So when you solve the equation, the solution also, while solving the equation, there is no information about the pressure. And if you see the discretized equation, pressure correction equation, if a pressure correction P dash satisfies this equation, a pressure correction P dash plus any constant, any arbitrary constant will also satisfy this equation. Okay. Why this will happen? Because this coefficient AP is equal to the summation of AE, AW, AN, AS, AT and AB. Okay, if you derive it, you will see that this AP is a summation of all these 6 terms. Okay, so any constant, if you add to the pressure correction, okay, over the entire field, so all these terms will have the added constant AE, PE dash plus C. So AEC plus AWC plus ANC plus ASC plus ATC plus ABC. This constant will be added and will be equal to APC because AP is equal to AE plus AW plus AN plus AS plus AT plus AB. Okay. So the both sides will increase by same amount and this equation will be satisfied by adding any arbitrary constant also to P dash. Okay. And because there is no reference point for P dash, because we don't know any pressure, so any pressure correction, like if it satisfies this field, that pressure correction plus any other constant will also satisfy the P dash equation. Okay. So in this case, the converse solution will depend on the initial guess value. Okay, as I was mentioning, whatever is the initial. So if you take the initial guess value as 0, the final solution will depend on that value. If your friend takes the guess value as 100 kPa, the final solution will be different. Okay, so all the final solutions will be different for each of the for each of your cases if you take different guess values of pressure. Okay, so you can think that that is a problem because you are getting different final pressures, but that actually does not matter in this case because all the velocities are only dependent on pressure differences, not actual pressures. Okay, and the pressure differences will remain same. Whatever is the absolute pressures you are getting, the difference will always remain same. Okay, so it is just that you are getting by adding some constant. So the final converse pressure is some different absolute value. So if you get a pressure here, say pressure here 100 kPa, 80 kPa, and this is 120 kPa, and I also solve the equation but with different guess pressure. So I get the pressure here as 0 kPa. I will get the pressure here as minus 20 kPa and this is 20 kPa, and you are getting 120, 100 and 80. I am getting 20, 0 and minus 20. So the difference will always remain same. We will get the correct differences by solving the equation because otherwise the continuity equation will not be satisfied. And if the correct differences of pressures are obtained, the difference of pressures are the terms which are actually driving the velocity. So because we get the correct pressure difference, the velocities are also correct. Only thing is that the absolute velocity, absolute pressure is not correct, but the velocities are correct and pressure differences are correct. And it does not matter what is the absolute pressure because that does not, because you don't specify any pressure gradient. Everything is in relative pressure. Okay, so this is what is called as relative nature of pressure. Okay, so for example, for a flow equation, flow through a cylinder, if I give the inlet velocity and outflow condition, it does not matter what is the pressure at the end, it will just depend on the velocity field, how the final velocity. So you can solve in terms of the gauge pressure, means you can take the atmospheric pressure means as the reference, and any pressure with respect to atmospheric pressure. So if the equal to the atmospheric pressure at some point, we take it as 0. Okay, this is what we call as gauge pressure. So the gauge, in terms of gauge pressure, if you solve, you will get the solution accordingly. If I solve in terms of absolute pressure, if pressure at any point, if it is atmospheric pressure, I take it means same differences in pressure, but the absolute pressures with the added value of atmospheric pressure. So the pressure is relative in nature. Okay, and that is also reflected in this algorithm. Okay, so this is also summarized. This does not cause any problem, as the velocity fields are only dependent on pressure differences, not on absolute pressure. Okay. However, there is a problem in some cases. When this is a problem, say you are using some value which are dependent on pressure. Like I was saying, equation of state, density is equal to P by RT, rho is equal to P by RT. In that case, you need the absolute pressure. And if you don't know the absolute pressure, your density will not be correct. Okay. So in those cases, the solution need to be unique. You cannot get this type of P and P dash plus C to be satisfied. Both will not satisfy the equation because this density term will depend on pressure. Okay. So both the terms will not satisfy this equation. So in that case, information about pressure is required anyway, because without knowing the pressure, how will you calculate what is the density variation? So it needs to be given as boundary information. Otherwise, you cannot use the simple algorithm. It means any algorithm, because if you don't know density, how will you? If you don't know pressure, how will you calculate the density? Your density itself depends on pressure. So for some special problems, like for example, compressible flow, where density or other properties depend on pressure, in those cases, like we cannot use this, or the pressure is not relative in nature. Pressure differences are not same for uh, any gauge pressure. You have to take the correct. Means you can start with any gauge pressure, but final solution will be unique, and some pressure reference point needs to be there. The final point that I will discuss here is important. Okay, so in many cases, what happens is that while solving a flow, the pressure differences that we get are much less than the absolute values of pressure. Okay, for example, say flow occurs in a cylinder. Okay, flow through a cylindrical pipe. The pressure difference between the two ends may be 10 Pascal or something like that, 5 Pascal, some pressure difference. Okay, now if you take the absolute pressures, the atmospheric pressure itself is 100 kilopascal, means 1 lakh pascals. Okay, so 100 kilopascal. So instead of relative pressure, if I take absolute pressure at the beginning of the cylinder, 100,000 plus 5, so 100,000 5, and at the end of the cylinder I have a pressure, absolute pressure, which is 100 plus 0, so 100,000. So with respect to the absolute values, this difference is very small. Okay, so this will cause very large round of errors, because in the 6th digit you are getting the difference. Even it is more apparent even if the pressure difference is even small. If the pressure difference at the inlet and outlet is say only 0.1 Pascal. Okay, for some cases it may happen only 0.1 Pascal. So in that case, you can see that at the inlet the pressure is 1 lakh 0.1, and at the outlet it is 1 lakh. So the difference is in the 7 digit. Okay, first 6 digits are same. On the 7 digit there is the difference. So the round of error, if you subtract now this, the only difference will come in the 7 digit, and it will lead to very exaggerated round of errors. In those cases, it is anyway better to always take relative pressure. So instead of taking absolute pressure, because you know the reference frame, so you take some reference frame, means say the inlet value or the outlet value or the atmospheric pressure as the reference frame, and take that value as 0. Okay, so in that case the inlet pressure will be 0.1 and the outlet pressure will be 0. Difference is in the first digit itself. Okay, so inlet pressure is 0.1, outlet pressure is 0, because we are now taking the relative pressures. and the round of errors will be much less. So this will give us much more accurate solution. Okay, so it is better to, for small differences, and in most cases the differences during flow through any system will be much smaller as compared to the absolute pressure. Absolute pressure is quite large. Atmospheric pressure is very large, 100 kilopascal. You are not going to get 100 kilopascal drop in flow through any cylinder or anything like that, unless there is, like, it's almost a very difficult task. It's a huge pressure difference. So in actual flow the pressure differences are much less, and it is better to always solve for relative pressure and also plot relative pressure. Imagine I am plotting on a scale of 0 to 1 lakh the pressure field. Okay, so I will see a same color or same, almost same values at both the inlet and outlet. 1 lakh 0.1 and 1 lakh will look similar to me if I put the scale from 0 to 1 lakh 0.1. Okay, but if I take the relative pressures, I will get a huge variation. So my pressure scale goes from 0 to 0.1. So we get the actual pressure variation inside the pipe. We can show the actual pressure variation inside the pipe. Okay. Is this point clear to all of you? Or is there any doubt? Why it is better to take this? This type of thing should be known to you after this course. Even if you don't, if you cannot implement the entire Navier-Stokes algorithm, these are very important things. Okay, which should be. Why it is better to take relative pressures while solving the problems. Okay. In some cases, say if the density is dependent on the absolute pressure, then also you can solve using relative pressure, but while calculating the density you add the pressure to the reference point to get the absolute pressure and then calculate the density. Okay. So I see no response from anyone. Students are still there. So anyway, let us continue. Okay, so we will now move on to the next algorithm, which is known as simple revised or simpler. Okay, simple revised. This is a very popular algorithm. Okay, simple has is now actually somewhat less used, although it is still there. And if you use Fluent and other software, you can use simple also. But simpler is a very popular algorithm still nowadays. Because it is one of the best algorithms for flow solution, and it is a modification of the simple algorithm which removes some of the drawbacks of the simple algorithm, okay, which we are going to discuss now, and as a result we can get much faster convergence, very less number of iterations as compared to simple algorithm. Okay, so it was derived by Patankar himself during 1970s, and it is still very widely used. And after that, this has been revised. Like there are other algorithms like simple consistent, which is known as, which is pressure implicit with splitting of. But all those are derivatives of this simple and simpler type of algorithms. Okay, all these are pressure-based algorithms. What we are discussing here, all these are pressure-based algorithms. Okay. So the pressure actually plays a very important role in finding the velocity field. So let us take a break here, and we will continue this. We will discuss the simpler algorithm after the break. Think about any questions if you have. Okay, your exam questions are already set. And as I have told, you can expect small questions, lot of small questions, like give an example of this, give an example of that, this type of questions, and maybe one or two derivations or problems. Okay, because marks is only 60 marks for 2 hours. There is not much scope for giving too many questions. So a lot of small questions and maybe one or derivations. Okay, from the part starting from after the midterm. So I think finite volume method, page 74. So starting from page 74 till the last class, what we are going to discuss. One more class is there. and we are going to finish in that class. Okay, so we will take a break here. I will keep this open in case you have any doubts. Okay. So we will continue. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll keep this open, the pressure correction and other things, but we'll continue with the simpler algorithm. So in the simple previous algorithm, the simple algorithm, what we had done was we had omitted this one term, right? This summation a and b, u and b dash, and we noted that this is not going to affect the final solution. However, this affects the time it takes to go towards the final solution. Okay, and because of omission of this term, what happens is that the pressure corrections and velocity corrections, these are exaggerated in nature. Means say if it is required that the pressure correction will be up to a certain degree, we get actually exaggerated values because one term was omitted. Okay, if you solve it, you will see that the pressure corrections are exaggerated. Although it goes to the correct solution, but it takes more time because because of this. Okay, and another point is that it means that to correct the velocities using this type of formulas, to correct the velocity using this type of formulas, u e star plus this, the entire burden of correction of the velocity means to correct the velocity, to update the velocity, the entire burden falls on the pressure correction. Okay, so to correct the velocities, so if there is a severe pressure correction, exaggerated pressure correction field, it leads to, so although it leads to means it does not cause too much problem in correcting the velocity, the way it is like we have devised this, omitting this term, it leads to exaggerated pressure correction. So the new pressure that is calculated will actually, there is a chance of fluctuation. It tends to, it is not very good for calculating the new pressure. Okay, this method. But still it will be means will give the correct solution in most cases, but because of these things the convergence becomes slow. Okay, so to avoid these things, to avoid these issues, what was cleverly devised was that, so if we can modify the simple algorithm somewhat so that the velocity correction is still used like this because it is not causing too much problem, but for correcting the pressure we do not use terms like, we do not correct the pressure like this, P is equal to P star plus P dash, because there is a chance of divergence or slowdown of convergence. And instead of this, if we devise some new method for solving the pressure, but velocity correction we will still do using the old method of pressure correction. Okay, by solving the pressure correction equation, we get P dash values and use these P dash values to get the velocity correction. But for the pressure correction, means for getting the actual pressure, we don't use this method. So if we can do that, then that problem is solved. If we can directly get the pressure field separately in a different way, not by adding P dash to P star. If we can directly get the pressure field in a separate way, but use that P dash equation only for velocity correction, then this problems does not arise. Okay. So with this modification, okay, so one new algorithm is developed where we develop a pressure equation. In addition to the pressure correction equation, by using the same continuity equation, we develop an additional equation which is called as pressure equation. Okay. So, and the algorithm is modified. We will discuss it towards the later part of today's class, how the algorithm is modified. But the algorithm is modified to calculate the pressure using this pressure equation, not using pressure correction, okay, directly using the pressure equation. Then this new algorithm is known as the simpler algorithm or simple revised. Okay. So it is similar to simple, but with some added parts. Okay, where we solve the pressure separately. In simpler, we were not solving the pressure separately. We are just adding pressure correction to the P star gas pressure. Here, we don't have this step, but we solve the pressure separately. Okay, in simpler. Now the question is how to get this pressure equation, how to directly get the pressure from the continuity. Okay, because there is no pressure term in continuity, how to get this pressure equation. That was the main bottleneck, if you remember our previous discussion also. The main bottleneck in solving flow equation is that there is no pressure term in the continuity. So how to get the information about the pressure from the continuity? So some strategy needs to be developed for that. So let us try to see what is the strategy that has been developed. The pressure equation from the continuity, to modify the continuity to include pressure terms. Okay. So again, going back to our discretized momentum equation, if you go back to the discretized momentum equation, equation 1, you will see here AUE is equal to summation A and B UNB plus B plus AE PP minus P. Same equation is written here. Okay, this is in terms of the correct values. If you know the correct pressure, you can solve it to get the correct velocity. The problem was that we don't know the correct pressure. Get the, and we need the additional continuity equation. So now we will modify and write it as U is equal to summation A and B UNB plus B by AE. Okay, by taking the A to the other side. So this entire first two terms goes inside this by A, and this A by small a, this we have already denoted as what? A by small a is D. Okay, D is A by small a. So D PP minus P. Okay, this A by small a into PP minus P. Okay, where we already have defined what is D. It is area divided by coefficient of the U equation, U momentum equation. So now what we are going to do, we are going to define another velocity which we are going to call as pseudo velocity. Okay, U hat. What is this U hat? Pseudo. This is actually defined as, so it is not actually a velocity. That's why we are calling it as pseudo velocity. Terms that are present here. Okay, summation A and B, U and B, all the neighboring point terms. Summation A and B, U and B plus B by AE. Okay. Conveniently we write it as U hat. Okay. Now we can write this, I will come how to calculate this thing, but now we can write U is equal to this term U hat plus D PP minus PE. Okay. Now look at this form of this equation. U is equal to U hat plus D PP minus PE. Does this look familiar to us? This looks familiar because we have seen similar type of equation for velocity correction in the simple algorithm, where UE was equal to UE star plus D PP dash minus PE dash. So here we had the star velocities, incorrect velocities, and the pressure correction terms. This equation is of same form, but instead of star velocities, we have some pseudo velocity. We don't know how. So some pseudo velocity plus terms, actual pressure differences. Okay, this is how we have derived from the momentum equation up to this point. Okay, so now what we are going to do, similarly you can write Vn is equal to Vn hat dn pp minus Pn. Okay, let me keep the diagram open so that it is clear. So Vn will be in this direction. I don't have. Vn will be in this direction. So Vn is equal to Vn hat plus dn pp minus Pn, and Wt means z direction, Wt hat plus dt pp minus pt. Three more terms will be there. Uw is equal to uw hat d pw minus pp. Okay, left to right always. Vs is equal to Vs hat plus ds ps minus pp, and so on. Once you have the similar to our formulation of the similar to using this velocity correction in the continuity equation, the same thing we are going to do, but replace the UE, UW values, Vn, Vs, Wt, Wb values by these equations, not this equation. Okay, instead of using this equation, we will use this equation in the discretized continuity equation. So what was the discretized continuity equation? We have already discussed this. This same equation is written again here. So once you discretize this continuity equation, del rho del t plus del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w. This is the full form of the continuity equation in 3D with unsteady term. After discretization, discretization is very easy with respect to the main control volume. You will see that discretization is very easy. You can try to do it on your own. You will get rho p minus rho p0 old value, because you are integrating it over. So how we get this discretized equation? You have to integrate this entire equation with respect to x, y, z and t. So four integrals are there. Okay, x, y, z and t. So the t integral gives you rho p minus rho p0, and the x, y, z integrals only give you for these control volumes going from left to right. So delta x, delta y and delta z. Okay. All the terms you have to integrate with respect to x, y, z and t. Okay. So similarly for this case, is it clear what I am saying? Why you need to integrate over all the variables? Or is there any confusion? Time is there, sufficient time is there today for question answers or discussion. So I hope it is clear. So we have to integrate over the entire. We know that we have to integrate the formulation of finite volume. Here the control volume, because it's 3D, it goes from x in x direction, y direction, and so x it goes from small w to small e, y it goes from small s to small n, and z direction it goes from small b to small t. Okay. So accordingly, we have to integrate over these three spatial directions x, y, z plus the time direction, where the time goes from t to t plus delta t. Okay. So along the four directions, three space and one time direction, we have to integrate, and you will get easily this one, these values. Okay. So the second term, if you integrate with respect, like what we have done in the previous class, second time if you integrate with respect to x, y, z and t, you will get for y, z and t, you will get delta y, delta z and delta t. Okay. But for the x, because there is a gradient, you will get rho u at east minus rho u at west. Okay. So rho u east minus rho delta t. So this delta divided all the terms by delta t. So this delta t has vanished from here, and here one extra delta t has come in the denominator, which will not come directly if you just discretize it. So this delta t has come because you are dividing all the equations by delta t. Okay. So similarly for the v direction, we have to integrate with respect to x, y, z and t. So integration with respect to x, z and t will give us delta z, delta x and delta t. Okay, delta t is omitted like I have mentioned. So delta x, delta z remains. But for the y direction, because there is a gradient, it will become equal to rho v at one interface minus rho v at another interface. Rho v at n minus rho v at s. Okay, into delta z, delta x. Similarly for the third term. So this was our discretized continuity equation, and it is in terms of the interface velocities. 6 interfaces are there: east, west, north, south, top, bottom. So we have 6 velocity components at the 6 interface. Now we are replacing similar to the star values, but instead of the star equations, we are replacing by these hat equations. Okay, we are replacing by the hat equations. So what we are going to do, UE, this UE we are going to write as UE hat plus DE PP minus P. Okay, I have shown here the full derivation. So U rho E, you can separate it as rho E into UE hat plus DE PP minus PE. Okay, let me just keep this open so that you can connect it. Similarly, UW, this term will be rho W into UW hat plus DW PW minus PP. Okay, then delta y deltas are there. Similarly, this rho n Vn term will become Vn hat, similar to this, plus Dn PP minus Pn, and this Vs term will be rho s Vs hat plus Ds PP Vs minus PP. Okay, delta z delta x, and the third term also in similar fashion. So like this we replace. Now look at this equation. Okay, if I remove all these terms, U hat terms in one term, okay, and remove them to the right hand side, I can remove all these U hat terms to the right hand side, and also this unsteady term to the right hand side, and all this pressure terms except the PP. Okay, PE, PW, PN, PS, PT and PB. All these terms, if we remove to the right hand side, on the left hand we will be only left with the pressure at the grid point P. Only with the pressure at the grid point P. Okay, all the terms related to pressure at the grid point P. Okay, and on the right hand side you will have terms like PE term. So what is the PE term? You can check from here. Rho E D. What is the coefficient of P? Rho E D delta Y delta Z. Okay, so P term will be rho E P rho E D delta Y delta Z into PE. Now negative sign gets positive, becomes positive on the right hand side. So we can write this as AEP, where A is rho E D delta Y delta Z. Similarly, W term, this is rho W dW delta Y delta Z. So here this negative sign will become positive on the other side. So you get positive rho W dW delta Y delta Z into PW. And same for the other equations. So all the coefficients for each of the equations are known. Rho's are known from previous calculation. D is unknown, basically based on area and coefficients. Delta Y and delta Z can be are already known from the grid meshing. So the coefficients are known, and if you check the coefficients of PP, the coefficients are rho E D delta Y delta Z, so which is equal to A. From the next term we get rho W dW delta Y delta Z, so negative negative becomes positive, so which is equal to AW. So you will get all the coefficients AE plus AW plus AN plus AS plus AT plus AB together as coefficient of the pressure term PP. Okay, and the source term on the right hand side, this will become negative. So instead of rho P minus rho P0, you will get rho P0 minus rho P. Same thing, delta X, delta Y, delta Z by delta T. And all the U hat terms together. Okay. So what are the hat terms? Rho E U E hat plus minus rho W U W hat. This was the term in the left hand side. On the right hand side, sign will change. So it will become rho W U W hat minus rho E U E hat. Okay, rho W U W hat. So this is rho U hat W. It means that rho W U W hat minus rho E U E hat into delta Y delta Z. Similarly, all the other terms. Okay. This is known as the pressure equation. Okay. If the U hat terms are known, U hat V hat terms are known, we can solve this equation to get the pressure. Okay. If somehow the U hat terms are known, or at intermediate calculation, we know the some values are U hat V hat, we can solve this equation to get the pressure. Okay. So this is of exactly similar form as this pressure correction equation, and for solving the equations, we can solve and use any other algorithm like we have discussed for convective diffusive equations, because it is similar to AP phi P is equal to ANB phi NB plus B. So we can use any of the algorithms we have discussed previously to solve this equation. Okay, like we have done for any of the previous cases, and we can get the value of pressure. Okay, so how to get the U hat? Still it is remaining, means we have not yet discussed, but say at this point U hat is known, so we can solve this equation to get the pressure. Okay, any questions? No questions.
No, sir.
So again, take a look at this pressure equation and the pressure correction equation. All the coefficients are same. Rho E D delta Y delta Z. A is equal to rho E D delta Y delta Z. AW rho W dW delta Y delta Z. Same coefficient, exactly same coefficient. AP is also exactly same. So all the coefficients are same except the source term B, where instead of the star values of velocity, we have the hat values, pseudo velocities instead of star velocities. Okay. Otherwise, all the coefficients are same. So if you calculate the coefficients of pressure correction, the same coefficients can be used for pressure equation. Okay. Only B is different as compared to pressure correction equations. All the other terms are similar. Okay. Obviously, you have the pressure instead of pressure correction, but the coefficients are same. Second important point to note here is that when we have derived this equation, we have not omitted any term. Unlike the pressure correction where we had omitted this A and B U and B term, summation A and B U and B term, till now we have not omitted any term in this equation. Okay, we have calculated using some, we don't know yet how to find the pseudo velocity, but we have not omitted any term. Okay, everything is there, everything is present. While when we replace this UE as UE hat plus DE plus PP minus P. So if the U's are correct in this equation, so the U hats and this entire things will satisfy the equation. Okay. So no approximation or omission of terms are required for deriving the pressure equation. So if we use correct velocities, say for some reason the correct velocity field is already known to you, okay, based on some either say experiments or previous calculation or something, or when you are iterating over time, the velocity field is stabilized in the first time step, like flow over a cylinder where some heat transfer is also occurring. So in the initial time step, the flow over the cylinder gets established and it is not going to change much, but the temperature field may keep on changing. Okay. In that case, the previous velocity field is already the correct velocity field. It is not changing much with more time. Okay. But the temperatures and other things are changing. So if you use the previous velocity field, correct velocity field, directly you will get the correct pressure field at one iteration. Okay. Because there is no approximation here. So how will the correct velocity field influence the solution? So you need some velocity to be given to calculate the pseudo velocity. Okay. So if you have the correct velocity, we'll go to the algorithm, this will become more clear. But if you can input the correct velocities here, the pseudo velocity terms will be defined with respect to correct velocity. Okay. And directly, because this term is already has the correct velocity. So when you replace this, the pressure values that will satisfy the continuity equation, okay, the pressure values that will satisfy this continuity equation will be the correct pressure because the pseudo velocities are in terms of correct velocities. Okay, so in one iteration you will get the correct solution in case the correct velocities are given in some way. Obviously, it cannot be given in many cases, but it happens in solving transient problem that in the first few time steps, the pressure, the velocity is established and the velocity is not changing after that. Like heat transfer is still occurring. In many of our cases we see. Then the iterations, into one iterations we get convergence. Initially it may take 100 iterations, 50 iterations, but after some time it takes one iteration or two iterations. For example, I am running some cases here. It can see that it is taking a lot of iteration, 27 iterations for converged solution. Because it means that velocity is not yet converged and it is taking certain amount of iterations to get the converged velocity. And I have given some convergence criteria that maximum velocity that we can tolerate, relative error, is 10 to the power. So accordingly, it is getting converged in 27. It need not be always 27. Means in other cases it might have been different. Okay, here for example, it is taking 37 iterations. Previously, it might have taken different number of iterations. So now this is because it has stabilized. It is taking almost same number of iterations. But anyway, so let us discuss. Then we will again discuss the pseudo velocity. Okay. So what is the simpler algorithm? I will keep the pseudo velocities here open. Or the simple algorithm also we need to check once. Okay. Simple algorithm, how did we start? We started with a guess pressure field. Here we are not going to guess the pressure field. Okay. We are going to start with a guess velocity field. Okay. So we'll keep this open. So we start with a guess velocity field. Okay. Initial guess we give for all the points is a guess velocity field. Now how you give that guess velocity again is arbitrary. You can, if you know the velocity at any boundary, say the inlet velocity is known 10 meter per second, you can provide that velocity over all the points. That all the points have 10 meter per second initially. Then its velocity will change after solution, but that is initial guess I am giving. I can also give zero velocity initially at all the internal points. So it will take some time to get the converse solution. So it is up to you to decide what is the guess velocity. Okay, up to the user to decide what is the guess velocity, what field he wants to give. Okay. So we start with the gauge velocity. Once you know the gauge velocity, we can use this momentum equation, because you know the velocities at all the points, because you have guessed them, okay, from previous calculation or iteration, or just directly guess them. You can calculate the summation A and B U and B term, because A and B is already known. First you need to calculate what is A and B. A and B are the coefficients of the momentum equation. This can be easily calculated, okay, with our previous discussion about convection diffusion. Okay, this will depend on the Peclet number. So if you use central difference, it will have some form of Peclet number. If you use hybrid equation, hybrid scheme, it will have some form of Peclet number. So all the coefficients are functions of Peclet number, if you remember, P. Okay, so we get this summation A and B, U and B plus B by A term. Okay, so we can calculate the pseudo velocity if we know the or guess the velocity. Okay, so we will calculate pseudo velocity U hat, V hat, and W hat at all the points by calculating the coefficients of momentum equation first. Okay, we'll calculate all the pseudo velocities. Now these pseudo velocities are not based on correct velocities, because we have used guess velocity. But in case it was based on correct velocities, in case by chance we know, and it is not arbitrary. Here it is not that always it is like a lottery to guess the correct velocity. As I am saying, many cases what happens, the velocity field gets established very quickly. Okay, and then there is no more change in the velocity field after that. So in those cases, for the next time step, for the first iteration, every time step you have large number of iterations, right? So for example, the code running here, this is for one of the students. So this is the time step is changing by 0.01 second. Okay, but in each time step we have 27 iterations or more number of iterations to get converse solution. So in each time step I have to start with the first iteration, and for the first iteration I need the guess velocity field, and I can use the previous velocity field which is already known to me as the guess velocity field. And if the velocity is not changing much with time, the previous velocity field will be correct. So my guess velocity will be correct. Otherwise, you just start with a guess velocity field. Okay, and you get U hat, V hat, and W hat. Okay. Now what we are going to do? We are going to solve the pressure equation, because we know already the hat velocities. We can calculate B. So once B is known, we can solve the pressure equation for all the grid points using any of the methods like we had discussed again. Okay, and then say so solve the coefficients like either using matrix inversion or any of the methods. Using the same methods that we have discussed, we will solve the hat velocities, the pressure field to get updated pressure. Now at this point, if the U velocity's initial guess was correct, the pressure at one iteration you will get the correct pressure. If the U initial guess was not correct, obviously most cases it will not be correct, then it will take certain number of iterations to get the correct pressure. So in one iteration you will update the pressure, but it will not be the correct pressure. Okay, so up to this point it is different. From this point onward, it becomes simple algorithm. Okay, so now this obtained pressure we will use as the P star. Okay, so this obtained pressure we will use as P star. Okay, and solve the momentum equation to get U star, V star, and W star like we have done previously. Okay, so from now onward it will be similar to simple algorithm. Once we get this P, we will use this as P star and solve U star, V star, and W star. There is one crucial difference. I will come to that. Then solve the P dash equation, same as simple algorithm. The P dash equation is still there, pressure correction in the same way. Okay, now we have now the continuity equation has been used for devising two equations. One is the pressure equation, one is the pressure correction equation. So now we will solve the pressure correction equation to get the P dash terms, and we will update the velocities using the pressure correction. How to update the velocities using the pressure correction we have already seen. Using this, because you have calculated using P star to get U star, V star, W star, you already have the star values, and once you solve and get the P dash values, you can update the velocities. Okay. However, crucially, we are not going to update the pressure using this form, P is equal to P star plus P dash, because pressure is already updated for us using pressure equation. We have devised, so entire point was I was discussing initially was to devise a strategy to calculate the pressure separately in a different way, so that pressure correction is not used for updating the pressure, to avoid those problems. Okay. Strategy for calculating the, and we are not getting the pressure just by updating it with the pressure correction. We have already solved for the pressure and got the new pressure field. So the pressure correction is only required for updating the velocity. Okay, for the velocity correction. So correct all the velocities using the pressure correction. However, do not correct the pressure. Okay, we will not correct the pressure. Pressure is already calculated for this iteration. So at this point, one iteration is complete for our simpler algorithm. Now you can solve for other variables like temperature, concentration, any other variables which enthalpy, whatever is present, and then repeat the steps. So whatever updated velocities you get after correcting the velocities, this will become our gauge velocity. Okay, updated velocities that you get after the correction will become the gauge velocity, new gauge velocity, and we will keep on iterating again and again, and until convergence, until the value goes down. Okay, this is the simpler algorithm. So now you know how this U hat, V hat, and W hat will be calculated, because for the first iteration, this for subsequent iteration, this is based on the, so what was the formulation of U hat, V hat, and W hat? It has all the velocities. So we have already updated the velocities using velocity correction. These velocities will be used for the subsequent iterations. Okay, and we can keep on solving like this. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So few points regarding the simpler algorithm. Okay, our class today is ending early. In the last class, we will discuss Simplex and piezo, and a brief introduction to. I don't know. Many of you already know this from my previous classes. Where is my attendance? Okay. So we have already discussed this, but please note that if the correct velocity field is given, by some reason it is given, okay, the correct pressure is obtained at once. So for simple algorithm, convergence will take many iterations. For but simpler algorithm, you will take only one iteration to get the, if the correct velocity is known, you get the correct solution in one iteration. But for simple algorithm, what will happen, because of this approximation was there, in the, because of the omission of the term was there, and this was needed, otherwise it will become coupled. Okay, so in simple algorithm, even if you give the correct velocity, the algorithm does not have the option of directly inputting the correct velocity at any point. Okay, so even if you know the correct velocity field, what will happen is that you will start with a guess pressure field and calculate to get new U star, V star, and W star values. So the velocities will go to incorrect values instead of the correct values. Okay, already you know the U correct values, but you are going to an incorrect value, U star, V star, and W star, because you start with a guess pressure field. Pressure field is not known, and then you use P dash equation to update the pressure and the velocity. So the updated velocities are not correct because you are going through U star and P dash. Okay, so it will take many iterations to again reach the correct velocity convergence. But in this case, it will reach the correct velocity in one iteration. In case the velocity field is given, even if the velocity field is not given also, this algorithm converges much faster. It takes much less amount of iterations. Say if the simple algorithm takes, so I am using the simpler algorithm for these calculations. So it is taking 37 iterations, for example, in these cases, 37, 38, you can see varies for each time step. The simple may take many more iterations, maybe 150 iterations it can take. Okay. So anyway, convergence is faster for simpler algorithm. So that's why it is very popular, even popular as compared to simplex and other. Another point is that for the pressure equation, we can use the same formulation for boundary conditions as we have discussed for pressure correction. Okay, if U is given, you know how to give the, like directly in the pressure equation, you will specify the, you can calculate the U hat values. While calculating the U hat values, you just calculate directly the So while calculating the U hat values, you will need to use the U values. So it does not matter. And if the pressure is given, directly specify the pressure at that point. Okay. So no problem will be there. And convergence is faster. Convergence faster means number of iteration is less. However, note that because we have more steps, more calculations to be done in each iteration. Okay. The number of steps within one iteration is more because you have this added part 1, 2, 3. Okay. Per iteration, it is more computationally expensive. So if it takes me 3 seconds for running one iteration of simple algorithm, it may take me 4.5 seconds to run one iteration of simpler algorithm. I'm just giving some random values, okay? But it will take more time to run each iteration of simpler algorithm. But because the total number of iteration is less, the overall time may reduce, okay, or will reduce because the total number of iterations is much less. Convergence is much faster, but each iteration is computationally more expensive. Okay. So we'll stop here, and in the next class we will finish this part using these two, studying these two other algorithms. Okay, which is on Tuesday evening itself, 6 to 8, like we are doing. Okay, please wait for the attendance. Any questions? What is today's date? 4/12. I have uploaded the document. 2 more assignment sheets I have to upload, and the main assignment that you want to do. So everything I will upload today, so that we are completely. And videos already uploaded. Okay, you can go to the link to see the videos. Just go to the link to see the videos. Okay, I have sent you the links. I think playlists are there, so you just go to the playlist for CMTFE and you can go to the videos. So up to yesterday's class it is there. Today's class I will upload. Yesterday means last class it is there. I'm checking whether I'm getting correctly or not. Why the sound is not there? Or maybe because my headphone is on. Anyway, so please respond to your roll call. Remember, lot of short questions given that why this is happening. This type of questions may be there, plus 1 or 2 problems or derivations. Okay, like derive something like what we have discussed. Say one of the methods, exponential method. Using exponential method, derive this equation. Okay, derive the convection for a simple convection, 1D convection diffusion using exponential, things like that may be present. Okay, we stop the recording now.